All right, more baler fun, because I don't want all these parts just sitting around here. I'd rather just slap them on as quick as we can, and then we'll go from there, you know. So we'll get started on that right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. 24 T Baler that Granddaddy bought new, and I have resurrected it from the dead and been using it the last many years, and I try to give it some love every now and again. So in the last one we put some new chains on it. I've also cleaned up, and that's drying, but anywhere there was rusty area I couldn't handle that, so cleaned that up and made it a little more better, preservative you might say, like I did with the inside of this. The paint job is not great. There's a lot of runs, but nobody sees that, but it was solid rust. I'd love to paint that whole thing, but I don't have stickers, and I don't know. I might be able to take the steel wool and some flits and bring that back around anyway, so I did that to most of the baler, but not all of it. So that is neither here nor there. The next thing on our list is this chain right here. It's another one that seems dry, loosey-goosey, etc. And actually, this one may not be difficult to remove, because if you were to do this number here, could you get it to fling out of there? Maybe not, but I bet you could get it off of the pickup. Yeah. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. So the next question is then, where is the connector link? Oh, it's right there, I think. It is a cotter pin style connector link. Ooh, that's kind of... Sure. I'm still determined to keep the system here and get this off of there without doing it correctly, because I just have a feeling it's going to be no fun getting that old cotter pin out of there. There we go. Now, do you remember how it was routed so we don't forget? I'm pretty sure I do. Let's go back here to our bale chute table. Now, again, I need to look up in the parts book what it's actually supposed to have. It was nice enough that they had a partial roll, and they just gave it to me. So, all we need to do is cut the appropriate amount, and we should be good to go. This is 20/50 chain, which is basically like double pitch. I don't really understand who thought this up or why. Maybe there's sometimes when it's better than others, but it will actually run on the same sprockets as the other chain, but 2 teeth will fit in here instead of 1. So it is what that is. But I am going to really quickly look up what it's supposed to be, and then we'll cut it, and I'll be right back, and like we did before. All right, I'm telling you what, this chain has like twice the cosmoline on it of anything else, so now I'm covered with it. But the book says 45 link chain. You assemble 43 links out of the roll, a half link and a connector link. But my original, I've taken the half link out, I guess, at some point. So it'll be interesting to see if we really need all this. We shall see. But here is another half link on this style chain. You can see how it's swelled out so that it will accept this type of deal here. And then it leaves the end with a roller so that you can still connect. You know what I'm saying. There we go. Lots of grease. Also, I don't know what I did with my whatchamacallit, screwdriver, but that's fine. This tool will work just as well. Yep, sure, that kind of lets you see what's happening. Let's go like this. That bottom idler, I forgot to grease this last time, and it shows. So I must have forgotten to grease it several times. See, doesn't that seem loosey-goosey, you know? I really don't think it needs the half link. I just don't. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's even better, because now I threw it in the dirt. And that's good for me. Let's try that again. Now that we got her good and dirty. Yeah, that'll work better. I like it better this way. Got a little bit more tension on the old chain. Truth be told, it could probably even have more yet. But see, there's plenty there, even with it all the way down. Plenty tension on the chain, or slack, I guess you should say. It's not like it's... So I'm doing it that way, whether we like it or not. All right, that's new. Lovely. I thought about replacing this belt, but I like that it slips instead of just sit there and roasting itself, because, yeah. So that's it. I left it alone. Now, this one is the one that scares me very much, because sadness will happen if you do this wrong. The knotter lift shaft, they call it. And I'm sure there's a lot of play in it. And I'm sure that what do I want to say here? I'm sure that when we change the chain, it's going to slightly change the relationship if I'm not careful. And I think that's gonna be the important thing. This doesn't matter. This just drives. That's just a drive to drive over and drive the auger. This would be your drive from your gear case, and then this is your actual clutch for your needle lift. Yeah, it's scary, is what I'm saying. I think if I make some marks and then I am very careful about it, I think I can make it happen just fine, as long as my stuff doesn't change position too awfully bad. You know, I just need to look at the relationship between things. There's actually a grease fitting on that. I think I'm going to point that straight up, and then that will give me a good baseline of where to be. All right, so I got grease fitting lined up with grease fitting. Probably go a little bit more. then if I make a mark on that one, I'll know where it was. And then I'll try to make sure that neither one of those two move while I put the chain on and tighten it down, and it should be the same. It shouldn't be able to move. But another mistake I made, I don't know where the connector link is. And that might be a flaw in the slaw on my plan of taking stuff loose. Is that, huh? I'm sure I won't find it easy. I'm sure it'll be a struggle of sadness. Okay, one more revolution, and I was able to put that back in line. And I also saw the connector link going around. So it should be up here somewhere. I really didn't want to have to take this shield off, but I might. I might have to do that to get it. There it is, right? Yeah. I made a mark on both this gear to the case and the other. Watching me. Maybe I can do this without needle meltdown. And maybe I can't. But at any rate, it's worth a try, you know. You only live once. Maybe before I take that all the way off, I should count my leftover chain, make sure I have enough links. That would be a smart thing to do, right? Okay, well, it says in the book 85 links of riveted chain. Jeez, that's tight. Dang. And an offset link and a connector link, but my chain here does not have an offset link in it, so I guess it's not that important after all. And that's good, because I don't have an offset link, because my chain's so wore it's like having an offset link. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if I can do this without severe meltdown occurring. That would suck, you know. Although needles for this would be easier to find than they would for the Oliver baler, so. All right, we're just gonna roll with it. What's the worst that could happen? Needle destruction, that's the worst. And if that's the worst that could happen, what are we even worried about, you know? I need to get that chain connector tool that the viewer gave me. But this actually took out enough slop here that I'm thinking you do need an offset link. Because I don't think I have any extra . Let me go dig and see if I have an actual offset link, because I didn't have enough. They didn't send me enough, I don't think. Or is that what this is? Is this an offset link? Here it is. Okay, I'm not as dumb as I look. But if I got that connected, it would be super tight, and I'm afraid that's probably not what we want. The only reason I was able to get that much is because my other chain was so wore out that it was able to do that thing. Now, the only question is, why did I not have a cotter pin in this bag? Did I lose it? Oh well, I got another one. Come on, you piece of technology. That's a super bummer. Okay. Boy, that makes a big difference in it'll be fine. See, ideally you'd take off all the shields and you'd do this like correctly, but that ain't how I roll. So I'm trying to cheat and not have to take shields loose, and trying to save myself a step, which is really costing me more time in the long run, but it makes me feel better. I just have to hit on the right combination of stuff, which I'm not doing. I think we got her licked, friends. All right, that's back in specs. That's what I'm after, see? This chain, again, you shouldn't be able to do that with your roller chain. Plus, you can feel when they're dried out and useless. Much like people, you can just tell. So, I guess what we will do now is we'll put as much stuff in harm's way as we can. No, we're gonna try to put stuff out of harm's way. And we're gonna gently run the baler. We're gonna trip those knotters because they're almost there. It should tie off that little mini bale that's in there. Pretty rude of you to die right when I'm getting ready to experiment. But we're gonna run this, even though it already turned while we were starting it. It made one knot. Okay, I'm not satisfied with just running it with the tractor. We're gonna do it in slow motion. So right there we tripped it. Our bale is going to, or baler's gonna start making a knot. So now when I turn this, we should be able to see our stuff happening, and it should happen at the right time. See, our plunger is just now coming back, and here in a second our needles should start to go. There, you see how they're starting to move? Contrary to popular belief, you actually want the plunger past the needles before they protrude into the case, or what happens is hay will break the needles off, and they are still, well, you can one is a little higher than the other actually, but they're still not in the case. Now they're starting to go in the case. That actually kind of concerns me, like maybe that's a little bit too soon. But see, they're coming up now. It would be really handy if you wouldn't keep shutting off. But see, our needles are getting ready to deliver our second string. The plunger is actually retracting now. And so that's the way everything's going. And you can see stuff start to move. The needle's about to deliver the twine into the twine disc with the other half, and that'll hold it while the bill hook underneath twists the knot, which you can't really see. The tucker fingers are starting to do their thing here. They're going to push that string against the bill hook here in a second. I don't know if you can see that. So the needles has pulled the string into the twine disc at the other half. The tucker finger there is going to hold that string against the bill hook, which in this setup is not realistic because I don't have the bail in there. I've got the string tied up out of the way, but normally that string would be hanging down like that, and the same way over here. I put an updated tucker finger shaft on, and I like it a lot better because it's got heim joints in it. It's adjustable, but your tucker fingers need to pretty well be 90 degrees when they're done to hold it against the bill hook. So now the bill hook should be starting its revolution, and it's going to, or not starting its revolution, but continuing its revolution. It's grabbed both pieces of twine and it's going to spin around. You can see the cam for it, how they've been spinning around. There's just no good way to, okay, there we go, where we can see. See how it's made the knot on the bill hook? Right there. Can you see the tip of my finger pointing? The little bill hook has the knot in it, and there's two strings in the twine disc sticking up. In a second, the knife is going to come across there and cut that off. There it goes. Cuts it off, and then that plate is going to wipe the knot off of the bill hook. And again, it may not work very good because there's no bail tension here, which it did not rake it all the way off this time. But then our needles and everything are returning to home. And then that shaft will unclutch, and it's just along for the ride again now. Yeah. So now it's done, and it worked fine. The only thing is, like I said, since I don't have the bail pulling down on it, I don't have the right kind of tension. It didn't pull the knot all the way off, but it did work, and that's what we're after. So I'm satisfied with that. I don't think I changed the timing any. I think it's going to be fine. All right, so I pulled this out, and basically there's our knot. Like I said, it will be tighter in your real bail because the bail pulling on it will tighten the knot as it comes out. But that's how it works, and so we accomplished what we set out to do. It's got all new chains on it. I got to order those bands, stripper bands. We'll get those. We'll put the shields back on. We need to change our tire and that in the next one. I may just do that off camera because who cares. But at any rate, it's coming along, friends, and that's what we're after. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. That helps out the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. Leave a comment. Tell me that you liked it, or tell me that you hated it. Tell me I'm a moron. I really don't care, but anything that you say helps us out too. So thank you again, as always, for watching, and I will see you in the next one.